Hello friends, welcome to this new video. So in this video, we are going to cover one Power BI project from starting. Okay, so there will be raw data. Okay, so in this particular video, we are going to learn how to load the data. Okay, after loading, what are the different steps while creating the Power BI project or while completing the Power BI project. Okay, then we will transform the data in the form of table, which is given in the form of table, to the colorful visuals. Okay, so इस particular video में हम क्या करने वाले हैं, बेसिकली हम ये देखने वाले हैं कि डेटा को कैसे लोड करते हैं पावर बीआई में. बेसिक से हम पूरा प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे. ओके, आफ्टर दैट डेटा लोड होने के बाद क्या डिफरेंट स्टेप्स हैं एक कंप्लीट पावर बीआई प्रोजेक्ट के. ओके, स्टेप्स कवर होने के बाद हम क्या करेंगे कि जो डेटा अवेलेबल है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेबल्स, वो हम कैसे ब्यूटीफुल इनसाइट्स विजुअल्स में कन्वर्ट करेंगे. ओके, सो प्लीज़ बने रहिए एंड तक इस वीडियो के. सो we know what is the first step. Okay, so the first step while creating or while working on the Power BI project is to load the data. Okay, so we know how to load the data in the Power BI. Okay, so basically there are 100 plus sources for loading the data in Power BI. Okay, so if you click on this one, if your data is present in the form of Excel workbook, so you can click here, Excel workbook. Okay, after that it will ask the path of that particular file. Okay, so I'll go to document, download, new folder, all files. Okay, so these are the files. So first I load order table, so you can like load the complete folder as well. Okay, but I load the files. Okay, so basically if you observe this complete data, so there is order ID, date on which the order is placed, and time on which on that particular time the order is placed. Okay, so I'll click on load. So our first table is loaded. Okay, the name of the table was order. After that I load the second table, same method. Again I'll go to Excel workbook. It's taking time because data set is huge. Okay, see, whenever the data is loaded now in the right hand side at the last pane, data pane is there. Inside the data pane you can see the table. See, order table is there. Now I'll load the second table basically, which is order detail. So in this particular table, again, 4 columns are there. The first one is order details ID. The second one is order ID, which was also in the first table. Okay, so we have to build the connection here because there is one column which is common in both the table. The third one is the pizza ID. Okay, and the last one is the quantity of pizza. So again, click on load. So second table is also loaded. So see, when the loading of that particular table is completed, so in the data pane, we can see the table, order detail. Okay, now we will load the third table. The third table is pizzas. Again, 4 column, pizza ID, pizza type ID, size of the pizza, and the price of the pizza. I'll load. So our third table is also added. Now we will load the fourth table, that is pizza type. Okay, now we can click on this load button. So all the 4 tables are here. Now for viewing this particular table, you can come on this left side. So there is one option, data view. You can click on this particular option. Now see, whenever the first table is selected, order. So the order table has these 3 columns, order ID, date, and time. Okay. The second table is this one, order details. So we have order details ID, order ID, pizza ID, and quantity. Okay, then the third table, pizza type. So now if you observe this particularly, so there is no column header, right? There is no column header. So basically the column header is in first row, pizza type ID, name, category, and ingredients. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to take this particular row as an header. So I'll tell you how to do that. Basically for that we have to transform the data. Transformation of data means we have to change the data in some sort of manner. Okay, so here what we will do, we will use the first row as an header. And if you observe the last table, again here the header is completely fine. We have pizza ID, pizza type ID, size of the pizza, and price of the pizza. Okay, so let's do it. So now we will understand how to do the transformation of the data. Okay, so for that what we will do, we will again go to report view. Okay, so basically see, if you observe this complete tab, there is one option to transform data. Okay, we will click on this transform data. So when you click on the transform data, one new window will open which is called as Power Query Editor. Okay, the new window will open which is called as Power Query Editor. So if you go on the third table, pizzas, so yeah, so this in this particular table we have to perform the transformation pizza types. Okay, so what transformation we have to perform? So basically we have to use the first row as an header. So see, if you observe this particular space here, there is one option, use first row as an header. Okay, so if you click on that particular option, see, automatically Power Query Editor will use the first row as an header. Now the header of the columns are pizza type ID, name, category, and ingredients. Okay, so this was the first step. Okay, so what we have to do, whenever the data is loaded, no, after that you have to observe the data completely and you have to think what changes you have to make in this particular data set. Okay, so right now we observed one mistake. The mistake was header was not available. The header was available in the first row of the data. So what we have done, we have used the first row as an header in this particular table, which is pizza type. Okay, after that, for saving this, what you have to do, you have to click here, close and apply the changes. Okay, so click on close and apply. So now if you observe, if you go to this particular thing, data view, okay, and if you see this table pizza type, so it has header completely fine. Okay, so this was the first step. So now we will do, or we will build the visual step by step. Okay, so before building the visual there are certain steps as well, so we will cover that as well in this particular video. Now the next step while working on the Power BI project is to build the relationship between the multiple tables. Okay, so we have four tables here: order, order details, pizzas, and pizza type. So what we have to do, after loading the data, we have to build the relationship. So Power BI is very smart while building the relationship. Okay, it will build the relationship automatically. So for viewing the relationship, you have to go on this third option, which is model view. Okay, so in this particular model view you can see all the tables simultaneously. Okay, so see, there are four boxes. The header of the boxes means the name of the tables. Okay, so we have order, order details, pizza, and pizza type. Four tables are there which we have already discussed with the multiple columns. Okay, now see, the tables are of two types. First one is the fact table and the second one is the dimension table. Okay, so fact table means the table which contains all the transactional data. Okay, all the data which we will use as a source, that is called as a fact table. So here order details, if you observe this particular table order details carefully, we have numbers in this table. Okay, so this is the fact table. Number in the sense we have quantity and other thing. Okay, so order details we will use on a fact table, and other tables which is pizzas, orders, and pizza type. Okay, so this table we will use as in secondary source. Okay, so basically in pizza we have different types, the type ID and all. So because of that particular thing, these tables, pizza order and pizza type, these are called as a dimension table. Okay, so two types of tables are there, fact table and dimension table. Now if you observe carefully, in between the two tables there is one line. Okay, so the line represent the relationship between the tables. Okay, so if you consider this order table and order details, so the relationship is one to many. Okay, because there is one column common between that is order ID and order ID. Order ID is present in both the tables, so that's why we can build the relationship, we can connect these two tables with each other. Okay, now if you observe pizza and pizza type, so there is also one to many relation. Now why I am saying many, because this asterisk symbol means many. Okay, so one to many, so these two tables are connected by pizza type ID. This particular column is common in this two table. Okay, and the third relationship is between order details and pizza, so there is also one to many because pizza ID column name is common in both the table. Okay, so three tables are there, or four tables are there, and we have built the relationship. Now let's say the relationship was not there, so we can delete this particular relationship. Now see, basically, for example, if sometimes happen that the Power BI will not detect the relationship, then what to do? Okay, so now see here, pizzas and pizza types are there. Okay, so in this particular two tables, one column is common, which is pizza type ID. So simply you have to drag pizza type ID to this pizza type ID. Now this will automatically build the relationship, and again the relationship is one to many. Okay, so this is the next step after loading the data. So first thing is you have to load the data, you have to observe the data carefully, and you have to observe whatever the mistakes are there in that particular data, and you have to clear those mistakes. After that, the next step is to build the relationship between the tables. It means that whenever the multiple tables are there, okay, so we have to build the relationships between these two tables. Okay, now we will see what we have to do next in this particular project. So after building the relationship, okay, we need to calculate something. Okay, now if you go on this one, data view, and if you open the this table, order details. Okay, so in this order details, we know we have four columns. Okay, but price is not there. Okay, so if you observe carefully, the price is present in this particular table, pizzas. Okay, now but we have to work on this particular table, order details. So now for getting that particular price, okay, so we have connected these two particular tables with the help of pizza ID. Now how to get the price here? Okay, now for example, if you want to find out the total order value, okay, so for that we need to multiply quantity and price. Okay, so for doing that, what we will do, we will create one new column. So in this particular column, the name of the column we will give as in price. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are bringing price of the particular pizzas based on pizza ID from different table, and the name of the table is pizza. Okay, so I have written here price is equals to, now in while working on Excel or while working on the Google Sheet, we use a main function which is VLOOKUP. Okay, so if two columns are common, so we can bring the values from of one particular column to the other column, okay, based on the base value. So here also we will do the same thing. Price is equals to, you can type lookup, so the name of the function is lookup value. Now the first thing, if you observe the syntax of this particular lookup value, the first thing is result column name. So result column name is price. Okay, then the second thing is search column name. Okay, from where we have to search. So we have to search from pizzas table, and the name of the column is pizza ID. So what I'll do, I'll type ID from pizzas table. Okay, and the third thing is search value. So we have to search this particular pizza ID value in this particular table. So what I'll do, again I'll type ID. Okay, and so this will be order details table, pizza ID. Okay, now if I close the bracket and if I hit the enter, I'll get prices here. Okay, so these are the different prices of the pizza based on pizza ID. Okay, so this is how we can add the column. We can add n number of columns in this Power BI. Okay, and we have to develop this kind of formulas. So basically this kind of formulas are called as function by using the function. So here we have used one function which is lookup value. So basically things are needed for this function. Okay, so here we have given price, pizza id from one column and pizza id from other column. Okay, so similarly in this particular manner we will use different DAX function, which is called as data analysis and expression function, okay, in this particular project, and we will learn new functions as well. Now what will be the next step? Okay, the next step will be, let's say we want to calculate the total sales amount. Okay, so again we need to create one more column. Okay, so you can click here, new column, and what will be the name of the column now? The name of the column will be sales. Okay, so sales will be equals to quantity. Okay, so quantity, column header we have in order details table, which is correct, multiplied by price. So if you hit enter, so what it will do in this particular sales column, it will multiply these two values. Okay, so 1 multiplied by 12 is equals to 12. So we got sales as well. Okay, so this is how we have to create new columns and we have to work on the new columns. Now let us understand why we are doing this, why we are calculating the sales. Okay, so how to understand that? Just go to report view. Okay, let's say we want to create one visuals, we want to create a bar graph. Okay, so go on this particular bar graph. If you open this particular bar graph, so two things are needed. Okay, what you want to show on x-axis and what do you want to show on y-axis. So on x-axis, let's say we want to show the date. Okay, and on y-axis we want to show total sales. Okay, now if you observe carefully, the total sales is 817860, roughly around 817k. Okay, so now it is showing for the data only for 2015. So basically we have the data for this particular year only. Now this is of no use, right? Because only 1 year data we have and there is no sort of comparison. Okay, so what we will do, okay, if we click on this particular visual, so we will remove year from here. So whenever you will remove the year, no, it will show the sales in terms of quarter. So basically in that particular year 2015 there were 4 quarters: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4, and these are the sales for each and every quarter. Okay, so for quarter 1 it is roughly around 205k, for quarter 2 208k, for quarter 3 again 205, and for quarter 4 199. So the most sales were in quarter 2. Okay, now let's say you don't want to see the sales in the form of quarter, you want sales in the form of month, so you can delete quarter again. Okay, so these are the sales for each and every month. Okay, so here you can observe that the month, in the month of July, the sales were the highest, which is 72557. Okay, now for example, if you click on this card visual, okay, so different visuals are there. I'll show the use of this visuals as well. Okay, so this is the card visuals. Now let's say you want to show the important number, which is the total sale. So if you click on this particular sales for this particular card visual, so see the total sales for this particular data was 817.86k. Okay, now let's say you want to the sales for July month, so just click on this particular July. So for this particular July month we have 72.56k sales. Okay, so this is how we will use the different visual for showing the data which is available in the form of tables in very interactive form. Okay, so we will do this use of interface later on. First we will calculate what are the important things which we want to show. Okay, now what will be the next thing which is important? Okay, let's say we want to calculate the total number of orders. Okay, so basically if you go on data view, so we have this one, right, order tables. Okay, so we have order ID, so the number of order IDs will be the number of orders. Okay, so for calculating that we have to create one new measure. Okay, so here one option is there, new measure. Click on this one, new measure. So new measure will be total number of orders. Will be equals to, we will use one function which is distinct count, and the distinct count we will take this particular column order ID. Okay, complete the bracket and hit enter. Okay, now see there is one measure which is total order. Okay, now let's say you want to see the total orders, so just create one card visual and click here. Okay, so it will like give the number in the form of output, which is 21k. So basically these were the total number of orders. okay, for this particular data set. Okay, so what we have done here, we have created a measure for calculating one particular value, which was total orders. Now let's say you don't want a number, you don't want the number in the form of this 21K, you want the exact figure. Okay, so for getting that, just click on the visual, go to format. I'll tell you later on this video. Okay, go to callout value. So in this particular callout value, there is one option of display unit. So under this display unit, there is one option none. So there will be no unit. Click on none. Okay, so it will show the perfect figure, which is 21350. So these are the total orders. Okay, so you can do multiple things, so which we will discuss in this particular video. So the next thing which we will calculate is the total quantity, that how many pizzas we have made. Okay, so for that again we will use this particular card visual. Okay, so instead of just okay, what I'll do, I'll just copy this card and I'll paste this. Okay, so right now this card visual is showing total orders, so I'll remove this one and we will take sum of quantity. Okay, so it is approximately 50K. Okay, it is approximately 50K. Now let's say we want to create a new visual, which is the donut chart. Okay, so okay, so I'll just take this donut visual here. Now let's say we want to show the data for different categories. Okay, so in this particular donut chart, the thing which are required, first one is the legend. Okay, so in the legend, what I'll do, I'll put category as in legend. Okay, and in the values we want sales. Okay, now see, basically four categories are there: classic, supreme, chicken and veggie. Okay, so these are the four categories, and for these four categories these are the sales. So approximately 23.68% of the sales are happened for this one, veggie category. Similarly 23.96 for chicken, then 25.46 for supreme, and 26.91, which is the highest, is for classic. Okay, so in this way you can create the visual. Okay, so first the see, whenever you are creating the dashboard, no, so the first thing is you have to show the numbers, important numbers, which are called as KPIs. Okay, so sales, total orders, total quantities, these are nothing but the important numbers. These are called as KPIs. So for showing the numbers, use card visual. Okay, now showing the data by category, by different types and all, show the different visuals. So for showing the sales by month, okay, we have used this bar visual. For showing the sales by category, we have used this donut chart. So in the similar way, we will use different visuals. Okay, moving forward. Okay, now next thing is, let's say we want to find out the peak hours on during which hours the total orders were highest. Okay, so for that, what we can do, we can create one bar visual. Okay, so I'll select the bar graph. Okay, so after selecting this bar graph, on x-axis we can keep time. Okay, so we have this time in order table. Okay, on y-axis we can take total order. Okay, so if you observe, we are getting the visual like this. If you enable the focus mode, okay, so this is the chart, but from this particular chart we are not getting the insight. Okay, so for that, what we will do, we will try to find out the peak hours during the half of interval, like what were the total orders between 11 to 11:30, then 11:30 to 12. Okay, now how to do that? Okay, so for that particular thing, what we will do, we have to make some changes. Okay, so the first thing is we will go to transform data. Okay, so after going to transform data, here we have to perform some transformation. Okay, so basically we have this table order. Okay, so right now the time is like in the form of minute and second. What we will do, we will approximate the time nearest to the half an hour, means either 11:30, then 12, then 12:30, then 1, then 1:30 p.m., then 2 p.m., like this. Okay, so for that, what we will do, we will add one column. Okay, so go to add column. Here one option is there, custom column. Click on this custom column. After that, when a window is open, and the first it will ask the new column name, so we will put it as custom time. What will be the custom time? So the formula will, we will create the formula. I will not directly tell the formula, I'll tell from the basic. So the first thing is we have to extract the number. Okay, so we will extract the number So for that we will use the function number from. We were extracting the number from this particular time. Okay, we will open the bracket, we will insert time, we will close the bracket and click on OK. Now if you observe carefully, the number is extracted. Okay, now we have to convert this number in the form of minutes in the interval of 30-30. So what I'll do, okay, I'll just multiply this with, there are 60 minutes in an hour, so total hours in a day are 24 divided by, we are 30. Okay, click on OK. So we will get out of 30. Okay, so after that I'll again modify this. I'll round off this particular thing. Okay, so for rounding off we have function number dot round. Okay, just open the bracket, just close it, it will round off the number. After that we have to divide it with the same thing, which is 16 to 24 divided by 30. Okay, now just hit enter. So you are getting the number like this. Now we have to just change the uh, format. Okay, so we will convert it into time format. Now if you observe the carefully, the time is like 11:30, then directly 12, then 12:30, like this. Okay, so from this we can take the peak hours, during which hours the sales was highest or the orders were highest. Okay, like this we can collect the information.